Infinity Sports.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen, Gillis. We get ready to take you through the primetime topics in sports, not only just in the Central Texas area, but also from sports around the entire nation. Happy Friday Eve to everybody out there. We've made it just about to the end of the week. For some of you, it's already the end of the week. A lot of places have introduced the 4-day work week. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with me today, whether you're just now getting off work or still at work, at home, or in your cars on your way back. As always, if you want to watch this content Monday through Thursday, 5 to 7, go to YouTube, Centex Sports Network or Centex Sports TV on YouTube, and subscribe to Centex Sports Network. You can be able to watch this weekdays 5 to 7. If you want to be able to listen to this content weekdays 5 to 7, go over on your mobile device and go to Centex Sports One, download the app. You can go on there and be able to listen to us from wherever you're at. Like I said, Monday through Thursday. Well, folks, we made it to another weekend, so that means it is time for football once again. As Thursday, we're kicking off with the Broncos versus the New Orleans Saints. We'll break that down later. We've got high school football kicking off tomorrow. Some games are today as well, but most of the games will be tomorrow on Friday. Later on, we'll have the play-by-play man for La Vega football in here with us to break down La Vega's season, their win last week against Gatesville, and the game of the week, one of the games of the week, as La Vega is going to play China Spring, or China Spring is coming to Belmead to play La Vega. That game is tomorrow at 7 o'clock, so you don't want to miss that. We'll break down the La Vega game a little bit later. Also, tomorrow will be the pregame show as well. You can listen on there with Roy and Cedric, and they'll break down how La Vega can come out with the win in this also important district matchup game that they have against China Spring. China Spring on sort of a down year, but as always, they're still China Spring, still a top program in the state. And they've had a very rough pre-district schedule as well. And then they played one of the better teams in the district to start district in the Conley Cadets, who La Vega will be playing on November 1st. Can't wait for that game too. They've got all good games on the schedule for the rest of the year. So you guys definitely want to be tuning in for that. They got China Spring this weekend. After that, they got Robinson, who's ranked in the state. They've got the Conley Cadets after that, and then they've got Lorena to end it off. So La Vega's got a crazy schedule to start the season off as well. So can't wait to be able to see that game, listen to that game, watch that game tomorrow as well. Before we get into some football, I want to talk a little bit about the WNBA Finals game that was last night. Don't get a lot of chances to talk about the WNBA on here, and their finals game was last night, and the New York Liberty able to pull out a close win, 80-70. Now I tuned into this game. I turned off the baseball game. The Dodgers were blowing out the Mets, so I was able to sneak away from that game, tune into this WNBA Finals game, and it was back and forth. I tuned in around halftime. This game was back and forth the entire game. The Minnesota Lynx had the lead for a majority of this game, and really all the way down to the final minutes, New York Liberty stormed back. Breonna Stewart was playing out of her mind. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks to go along with the steal as well. She was playing great. But Sabrina Ionescu, to end the game, she was having an off game. Her shot was not falling, at least from the parts I was watching. Her shot was not falling throughout that entire second half. And in those last 2 minutes, really, it's like a switch went off in her head. And she turned into the Sabrina Ionescu that we're all used to, knocking down multiple three-pointers, including the game-winning three that was almost from the logo. So everybody knows Sabrina Ionescu from her career at Oregon all the way to a couple years ago doing that three-point shootout with Stephen Curry in the All-Star game. She is definitely a monster. But shout out Breonna Stewart. Like I said, she was she kept them in this game. She's a multiple time MVP at every level in college and in the WNBA for a reason. She is a champion when she was playing with Seattle and Sue Bird out there for a reason. Breonna Stewart is definitely one of those ones, and she was just proving it again last night. But shout out Sabrina Ionescu, man, hitting that game-winning shot. And Friday is going to be a good game. A chance for New York to be able to close out the series, win their first ever title. What they expected to happen when they brought all these people to the New York Liberty, getting Breonna Stewart in free agency and getting Jonquel Jones in free agency a couple of years ago when they built this kind of super team to rival the Las Vegas Aces, who they beat earlier in this playoffs. So I'm definitely excited to watch that game Friday and see if New York will be able to close out the deal there. Folks, like I said, we got to talk about some La Vega football, and I do have the play-by-play man in studio with me, the voice you hear every Friday night on 94.5 FM for your La Vega Pirates, Mr. Cedric Aguilar. Said, what's going on, bro?
Hey, good to be here, bro. It's always a blessing to be in your presence.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. We're gonna talk about a few different topics while we got you here for a few minutes, man. But as always, we start with the La Vega Pirates, and La Vega coming off of a good win against Gatesville, a Gatesville team that was a tough out, no type of slouch whatsoever. La Vega had to grind out that win, and they were able to do that. And they got another game this weekend that they're going to have to grind out in China Spring. But before we talk about them, talk a little bit about La Vega coming out successful last week against that Gatesville team.
Yeah, the thing about this district, Jalen, there's no cupcakes. There's no easy outs. You got to show up every Friday and bring your A game. Or you mess around and might not win that game.
Yeah, for sure.
There's just no easy outs in District 12. 4A Division 2. There's just no easy wins. And so what we saw La Vega do, now understand this, I think when Gatesville played La Vega last week, I think I may have seen the best running back in the district. Listen, 30 carries, 154 yards.
Yeah.
This guy, Rashawn Smith, he didn't leave the field. He was like baby Derrick Henry. But what we did see is, and even Coach Hyde had to admit, hey, listen, this guy was killing us.
Yeah.
At one point, this guy was killing us. So I just had to put my bigs in. And even though there are offensive linemen predominantly, I had to put my bigs in on the defensive line because we just can't have this guy just run over us like this. But I think what we did see with La Vega is this is a very resilient team. These kids don't quit. These kids never stop fighting.
Yeah.
These kids are going to always show up and give you 110% every single time, every single play. I really believe, and I know it's easy for me to say this as the quote-unquote voice of La Vega high school football, but I think what we're seeing, I think this is the cream of the district. I think La Vega is the best team in this district.
Man, I gotta agree with you. And leading up to this game, obviously there was questions, and then there's still Robinson, who's ranked in the state, and some people looked at the games that La Vega dropped, and they just look at the record, and they don't really look at the games and who they were playing in those games. But like you said, man, this team is getting into form at the exact right time. We all know about Bryson Rowland, and I want to talk about him in a second. Before we talk about him, talk about the young kid, man, Courtney Parr. 15 for 20, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, a sophomore. He's only going to get better from here, and he's already looking like a veteran out here on this football field for this La Vega Pirates. Now that he's leading the helms, man, this La Vega team, he seems to have unlocked Jabari Thornton a little bit more, who had 160 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game against Gatesville. Now Courtney Parr coming out here, dominating from the quarterback position to go along with Bryson Rowland. Talk about Parr, man, and what he's done for this offense.
Yeah, Courtney Parr is so extremely poised in the pocket. Now, if you ask me, okay, what is the knock against Courtney Parr's game?
Mm-hmm.
Courtney Parr can do a little bit better in the RPO. When he's rolling out and running those particular plays.
Mm-hmm.
But Courtney Parr doesn't get rattled
At all.
in the pocket. If you give Courtney Parr time, Courtney Parr is going to find somebody downfield that he's going to hit in the numbers with a pass.
Yeah.
This is who Courtney Parr is, and this is not an indictment on Jaden Hernandez.
No.
Because Jaden Hernandez is also equally talented, and I just think La Vega is kind of blessed to have, because people say, well, if you got two quarterbacks, then you don't have one quarterback. No, La Vega literally has two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They legitimately have two quarterbacks. And Courtney Parr, as a sophomore, he's just showing how talented that he is. He's a special player.
Yeah.
He really is. And La Vega is talented to have a roster, with a handful of special players: Courtney Parr, Bryson Rowland, Caden Rowland, Jabari Thornton.
Man.
There's just so many special athletes that La Vega has on their roster, and this is what makes me believe that I think this is really the best team in that district.
And they're starting to prove it. They start district off with a bang. Some people might look at Gatesville as a pushover, but like you just said, man, there are no pushovers in this district at all. They're playing a team with one of the lesser records this coming up weekend, and this is also one of the best teams in the district in the China Spring Cougars. They had a tough game against Conley, who was – I can't wait for that game, man. That Conley team is talented as usual. But their running game between Vincent and that Braden Ford kid, man, they're dangerous. But they played them. They played China Spring last week. Conley was able to come out with a win. But Conley is they just faced a really tough running back against Gatesville. They're going to face a really good quarterback this week in Matthew Battles for the China Spring Cougars. Last week he went 12 for 21, 140 yards, a couple touchdowns. Also had 12 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown. But I've seen this kid put up 150 yards rushing on teams like University, on some of the bigger teams that they've been able to play throughout the year as well, when they play Springtown and teams like that. So this Matthew Battles kid is no joke at all, and La Vega's going to have their hands full this coming up weekend. Talk a little bit about, man, what you expect to see somewhat in this game tomorrow against China Spring.
Yeah, Matthew Battles, he's not the biggest kid. He's not the fastest kid.
Yeah.
But Matthew Battles has what I like to call like sneaky athleticism.
Yeah.
Matthew Battles is the type of kid that he'll drop back to pass and nothing's there, and he has the ability to roll out and extend the play, eyes looking downfield, the whole time. And if there's nothing there, I'll run and just pick up the first down.
Yeah.
Matthew Battles is very athletic. And I think that he's one of the people, when you're talking about China Spring, he's one of the people that you have to kind of keep an eye on, because he's a guy that can make a play at any given time.
Oh, yeah. At any time. You described it perfectly, man. He finds a way to extend those plays, even when it seemed like they were out of the game in the University China Spring game I got to watch. He found a way to keep them going and keep them in that game until the end. When I watched him against Conley this last weekend, he had that offense rolling at certain points in the game, man. So like you said, he's super dangerous, especially with his legs. And he has no problem stretching the field, throwing the ball vertically either. But his legs are a problem. He's a top 10 rusher in the greater Waco area right now, in this Centex area. He's top 10 rusher. He's got 4 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards already so far this season. But luckily for La Vega, they just played the number 1 rusher in this greater Waco area in Rayshawn Smith from Gatesville. So they've been battle tested as far as how to play against these running backs. I've been thinking back to the kid at West Orange Stark and the big back they had back there. And so they've gone against some rushing games so far. And China Springs got a couple good rushers. Krishawn Gregory's good as well.
And I really think when you're talking about China Spring versus La Vega on Friday, This is going to be one of the better games of the year because these are two of the most talented teams. Yeah, China Spring 1-5. I get that. But China Spring is probably the best 1-5 team you've ever seen in your life. Okay.
For sure.
So two very talented programs coming into Friday's game, and I think what you're gonna see is you're gonna see two programs who they both fight, like they're known for fighting, like they just fight, right? And so even though China Spring has that 1-5 record, and then La Vega has this lofty number 9 ranking on their back, this is not a gimme. This is not a gimme. La Vega, and you'll hear this when you listen to the hopefully you'll listen to the pregame tomorrow,
6:30. Be there.
Where I had the interview with Coach La Vega coach Don Hyde. You'll hear him say this. This is not something that we know that we just can't just get off the bus and get a win. You know what I mean? This is going to be a hard-fought ball game. And understand this. China Spring is 2 years removed from a state title. Yes. And there's about 5 kids on this roster, Matthew Battles being one of them. There's about 5 kids on this roster, Zane Borland, Caden Dumas, Corbin Hendrick, Bo Spell. There's a handful of guys on this China Spring roster, 2 years removed from a state championship. These guys are going to play with a lot of pride.
For sure. And that's a great way to put it. They play with a lot of pride no matter who they're playing. China Spring is going to show up. Their faithful is going to be in that away side. They're going to be making noise as well out there in Belmead, Texas. This is not going to be a pushover game at all. I'm actually extremely excited to be able to watch this game tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And make sure you tune in for the pregame show, like said, mentioned, because he gets a chance to talk to coaches week in and week out, and you get to hear their point of view on how they look at these upcoming games. So we just talked about the coaches. I'm going to do something that the coaches don't do, and I want to look forward past this China Spring game and look at a couple of these teams that La Vega's got coming up on their schedule, man. They right after that, like we said, man, this District 12, this is a gauntlet. This is a gauntlet week in and week out. There's going to be good games, and that's why we've been talking about this district all year long, because we knew at the end of it, it's going to be good games every week for La Vega. So they got China Spring, but after that, they got the number 6 team in state 4A Division II. The Robinson Rockets are sitting at 5-1, and they've got the Conley Cadets this weekend coming up tomorrow. So, man, this district is just full of great games. Back-to-back games for La Vega is going to be Robinson and Conley.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like a homer, but honestly, Jalen, I just don't see another district in our area that's as competitive as this one.
Oh no, I agree, 100%.
I mean, this is you can take any one of these kids. Listen, you can take any one of these programs and throw a dart at them and say this team might win state.
Yeah,
because they're just that good. It's highly competitive, highly talented. And I just feel so blessed to be able to go out Friday night and watch. Last week I watched La Vega against a talented Gatesville team. I'm going to watch La Vega against a talented China Spring team. I'm going to watch La Vega versus Robinson. I'm going to watch La Vega versus Conley. I'm going to watch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is just it's very deep, very talented. And there's actually, if you were to say, well, I think this team out of this district can win state, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Not at all. And it's a battle week in and week out. They got, like we said, China Spring this week. Next week they got Robinson. They got one of the best running backs in this Central Texas area, in Evan Marino, he's already got 14 touchdowns on the season and was 6 games into the season already.
And listen, having watched Roschon Smith play at Gatesville.
Mhm.
And I understand Evan Marino has the numbers. Man.
Oh, that
listen.
Smith kid is different, man.
hey, listen. Roschon Smith is something special. Not even a senior. But listen, the Derrick Henry Jr. That's what I call him. The guy had 30 carries, and almost ran for 170 yards. So now you take that and you project that forward. Evan Marino, the numbers are crazy.
Yeah, sure.
Video game numbers.
Yeah.
Man, I just don't. If Evan Marino is better than Roschon Smith, oh my goodness. And you're talking to somebody. I've seen Bryson Rowland every week.
Every single week.
Every week. And he's special.
Super special. Been special for 4 years now.
It's just so much talent in this district, Jalen. It's just crazy. Conley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so much talent in this district.
Yeah.
It's just bananas, bro.
And that's another game I wanted to ask you about, that Conley and Robinson matchup this weekend. You got the Moreno kid for Robinson. You got that high-powered offense they got. Conley's got this dual running game that they got with Braden Ford, who just had another game over 150 against China Spring. Jamarian Vincent, one of the most highly recruited players in Waco. Yeah. Vincent, he's got offers from Texas, from Baylor, from places all over the state. He's in a quarterback. He had 164 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns last week against China Spring. They're matching up in their class this weekend. What do you think gonna happen with them in the game that we won't get a chance to really watch like that because we'll be watching La Vega? But
yeah, we won't get
we'll get to tune in the next week. I mean, tomorrow on Saturday to watch the highlights and see what the stat book looks like.
What I really believe, and this is kind of something that Conley has kind of set up a tradition, for lack of a better term, to where they kind of lose early. I'm sorry, they kind of win early and lose late.
Yeah.
No, so it wouldn't surprise me if Conley loses this game. But if they do lose this game, it's not because they don't have the horses to run with Robinson. It's not going to be that at all. But with Robinson be coming in ranked and Conley, I think they're like number 20. They're ranked, but they're down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Robinson ends up finding a way to win this ball game. But that doesn't mean that 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, look up. Conley gonna be right there. Because they just have that kind of talent and they have that kind of coaching to where they're gonna always be relevant.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And they, like you said, that talent, that's the number one thing, man. It seems like since really about 2017, 2018, man, every year they got a kid that's highly recruited, one of the top recruits in this greater Waco area, and they got another one there with the Vincent kid. He's only a junior still, I think, so he's still got time in that program as well. So tomorrow, folks, La Vega versus China Spring. That is tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in for pregame. You are definitely going to want to hear what these coaches have to say. You're going to hear Ced break this game down even more. And then 7 o'clock, man, it's going down in Belmead, Texas tomorrow, so make sure you guys are getting ready for that. You can watch some of the action right here on Centex Sports Network. You can listen on Affinity Sports Radio, Central Texas, or you can listen on the dial on 94.5 FM. Tune in there at 7 o'clock tomorrow to be able to catch this game. You definitely do not want to miss this at all.
Yeah, if you miss this game, you are not in the place to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I promise you, Friday night in Belmead, 7 o'clock, that's going to be the place to be.
You got to be there. And if you're not there, you can listen right here on the radio, 94.5 FM, or watch on Centex Sports Network on YouTube. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We still got Ced here with us. We're going to come back, talk about some college games, talk about a couple of these NFL games coming up this weekend as well. So stay locked in. Stay right here on Centex Primetime. We're going to be right back after this short break.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
and Infinity Sports.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blasian Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blasian Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo, Workshop in Business Opportunity, to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo to develop their business ideas into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler. For me, it's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's the sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie, 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
That's right, sports fans.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis, your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am Jalen Gillis, your host. As always, make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe. Centex Sports Network on YouTube, and download the app on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Centex Sports One. Still here in studio, joined with Cedric Eigerhart, the play-by-play man for La Vega football. Just got done chopping it up about some La Vega football. They've got China Spring tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. You'll be able to hear him on the radio breaking it down, starting at 6:30 for the pregame show. Well, we got a lot of good football games coming up this weekend, everybody. A lot of good football to look forward to. If you've been listening with us all week, as always, thank you for listening. But if you've been listening with us all week, you heard us talk about this Texas and Georgia game. You've heard us talk about some of these other games going on this weekend. Miami's got a tough game against Louisville coming up this weekend. Alabama and Tennessee is going to be a good one that I can't wait to watch as well. Before we go to the games this weekend, got to ask you about last weekend. Said, what do you think about this Oregon and Ohio State game, man, that honestly lived up to the hype of how good the game was supposed to be?
It was very competitive, and that was what we were expecting to see, was a competitive game when you have two teams in the top five meeting up against one another. Yeah, so you expect to see a competitive game, and it was definitely that. I think what we saw out of that game, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel played up. You know, he's a Heisman candidate.
Mm-hmm.
He did Heisman stuff.
Yeah.
And so I now listen, I'm not saying now with this, because this is the first year that we're going to have the 12 teams in the CFP. So both of these teams are going to be there.
Oh yeah.
Both these teams are going to be there. Do I think Dylan Gabriel, like, let's just say if the scenario plays out to where it's Oregon versus Ohio State again, and this time at a neutral site, do I think Oregon will win that game? I don't know.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I said the exact same thing, and they might do it in Indianapolis in the Big Ten championship as well. So he might get it before that college football playoff. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess my thing is, as great as Dylan Gabriel performed, and listen, Ohio State has the best wide receiver room in the country.
Man,
they just do.
It's ridiculous.
5 guys that could easily go pro.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Honestly,
today, including
the 18-year-old.
Yeah, everybody could go pro today. So if you're talking about a rematch between Oregon and Ohio State, will Oregon win that game? No.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Same thing I said.
Yeah, probably not. And understand this. There was a lot of hype around Chip Kelly going to Ohio State, being the OC, not the head coach, but being the OC, and he has all these weapons around him. I think Chip Kelly didn't do a great job on Saturday utilizing what he had at his disposal. I'm just gonna say that, and you can also frame this in the fact that he was a former Philadelphia Eagles head coach that didn't do anything. So you might think I'm holding something against him.
You should. I'm not an Eagles fan, and I'm holding something against him. That was one of my favorite teams to watch. That Eagles version with Michael Vick and D-Jack and Shady McCoy.
Deshaun Kelly and Shady McCoy.
He threw the whole team in the trash. And Asante Samuel on defense. That team was loaded. The team was loaded, and he let them down. And you made a perfect point, man. He's not. At times, they look great and they look like world beaters. But at times, you're like, hey, man, you've got, as you just said, potentially 5 NFL receivers, and 3 or 4 of them might go in the first round of the NFL draft. And the offense looks, it just looks okay.
You can't sell me on the notion that there's a better wide receiver room in D1 right now that's better than Ohio State. You just can't sell me on that. So since I'm stuck on that, I'm expecting you to do more with it than what you're currently doing.
Sure.
And they talk about, give the ball to Travion Henderson. No. Put the ball in the air.
Yeah.
Throw it to these receivers.
Yeah. And then you got 2 backs. I mean, you didn't even bring up Travion Henderson. You got Travion Henderson and the other guy out there. So he's not doing. And then Ryan Day. Eventually, I don't understand. I was gonna say I understand why he's there, but I don't. It's Ohio State, man. Eventually, if a dude is 2-7 in games against top 5 teams since he's been there, he hasn't been able to close out the big deal since he's been there. They'll go to the college football playoffs and underperform since he's been there.
If you're 2-7, that's telling me that you've had 9 chances to prove yourself, and you've pretty much failed?
Yeah. Since Urban Meyer has left. When Urban Meyer left is when Michigan started to get those wins, because Urban Meyer had his foot on Michigan's necks. He wasn't giving Jim Harbaugh any wins. Even that crazy game that came down to the punt being blocked that ended up Ohio State winning. They weren't beating Michigan wasn't beating Ohio State. Ryan Day comes in. Not only does Michigan start beating Ohio State, they win a national championship. And he's had teams with C.J. Stroud and Chris Olave and all these guys on the team and haven't been able to close the deal out. So definitely some side eyes going Ryan Day's way as well. But the game this weekend, man, Texas Longhorns versus the Georgia Bulldogs. This is going to be a great game because Texas has looked like the best team in the nation this entire season. From start to finish, they've looked the best. Georgia's got something to prove after losing to Alabama.
Yeah.
And they're going to another tough environment going to Austin to be able to take on the Longhorns.
I think Texas has the better roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's more horses in Austin than there are, for the Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my concern.
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian, the way that he calls plays, and we understand that he calls the offensive plays. The way he calls plays, he just kind of seems to be a gimmicky guy to me.
it can be too gimmicky at times. I will agree there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to do something that you ain't expecting me to see, and as opposed to lining up and just I'm putting my dogs against your dogs, and we'll see which dog gets the bone. Sarkisian is very gimmicky to me, and so because of that aspect, don't listen. I don't even know what the line is, but I come over here every week and say I'm not a betting man, but
-5 going Longhorns way.
Yeah, give me Georgia +5.
No, hey, look, and I've said all week, man, I think Texas definitely can beat Georgia. I think Texas is the best team in the nation as of right now. They haven't played anybody near what they're about to see on Saturday. Michigan was a good team, but we've all seen now Michigan is not who we thought they were when Texas played them. Well, they have one of the worst quarterback rooms.
Yeah, well, Michigan losing to Minnesota. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. We've seen that they're not who we thought they were.
Yeah.
We've seen that Oklahoma, I'm not going to say who we thought they were because we kind of thought Oklahoma was like this. At least I did. I didn't think Oklahoma to be a world beater.
It's hard to be a world beater when your quarterback is a true freshman.
and your other 5-star quarterback, you just benched him.
You just benched him.
So, they've got other things going on in Oklahoma. I wasn't sold on them even coming to the SEC. But that was just me. Maybe some people thought different. This for sure is going to be, I think it's like 10 or 11 projected first-round picks on this Georgia team. This is going to be the most talented team that you've played by far. And yes, you're playing at home in Austin, but Georgia just had to play in Tuscaloosa a couple weeks ago.
Well, and there's a difference, okay? If there's a difference between being a talented team and being a well-coached team.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing with Georgia, actually, and I know this is crazy when we're talking about Kirby Smart and his guys, but I think I just don't think this Georgia team is being coached up enough to where they're getting the most out of what they have in their roster.
Yeah, because they got the talent. The talent is right there. Nothing's changed. They've got first round guys on both sides of the ball, from their receiving room, running back room. Carson Beck is starting to look better each and every week, honestly, and especially since that Alabama game. Since the second half of that Alabama game, he's starting to show why people had him projected the way that he was. I never had him as my top quarterback, but the last few weeks he showed why people may have put him in that light. And so coming into this game, man, Quinn Ewers, he started the game slow against Oklahoma. He's coming off an injury.
Yeah. So two things I want to point out when we're talking Texas and Georgia. Number one is people talking about Quinn Ewers. He's always hurt.
Always.
I mean, he's hurt.
I've said this already. He's always hurt, man.
Okay. And I don't know. If I was Sarkisian, I probably would have just ran Arch Manning out there.
Can't tell me you look worse.
Yeah, and just don't even bother with Quinn until Quinn's 100%. But he did what he did.
Yeah.
And it was okay, because the other thing that I want to point out is Oklahoma had a true freshman quarterback.
True freshman, 18 years old.
SEC, if it's the best division in college football, you should never run a true freshman out there at quarterback, if that's true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But this is what they did, and then we saw they got what they got. Texas left what? 3 touchdowns on the field?
Yeah, at least.
At least 3 touchdowns on the field they didn't get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to compete in a league of this magnitude with a true freshman at quarterback, and this is what OU is trying to do. And it's just not going to work.
No.
So, we saw the results.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
It looked like they shouldn't have put a true freshman quarterback out there. You're losing that game 34-3 in what was supposed to be your biggest rivalry game of the entire year, and now they're going into an even tougher part of their schedule. So Oklahoma, I don't know if we got Sooners fans on here, but y'all in trouble.
I'm old school. I graduated high school in 1988. I'm old school.
Yeah.
Back in the gap, like we used to say.
Yeah.
Back in the gap. Okay. Texas's biggest rival was OU. A&M's biggest rival was Texas.
Yeah, for sure.
But Texas ain't worried about A&M.
No.
So when you go and play OU, this is going to be your best effort. I don't care if this is the only win that Texas puts up on the schedule, and thankfully for them, they're talented enough to where they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna stomp OU.
Yeah. Anytime you get the chance to.
Anytime you get a chance, listen, we're gonna show up at the State Fair, and we gonna try to crush you.
Yeah.
And this is what we saw. Unfortunately, OU just kind of wasn't up to the challenge. You know what I mean?
Not at all up to the challenge. And I'm not sure how up to the challenge they're going to be for the SEC. And I said that before they got to the SEC. I thought they would have stayed behind in the Big 12 and kind of dominated in that Big 12. But hey, this is what you want. You're getting the smoke that you asked for at this point.
But you have to make
a
move. You have to make that move when the opportunity presents itself.
Oh yeah.
You have to make that move to get to a conference with more prestige than the one that you're currently playing in.
You saw A&M do it 2 years ago.
A&M moved up way too soon.
Yeah, way early.
So I don't have a problem with OU moving up to the SEC. I don't have a problem with Colorado moving up to the Big 12.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have a problem. When you got a chance to make a move and to make yourself more relevant, if you just win a handful of football games, you ain't gotta be undefeated. Win a handful of games.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah, so that game is this weekend, y'all. Can't wait to watch this one. Number 5, Georgia. Number 1, Longhorns. This is going to be their biggest test. And if they win this game, they'll probably be number 1 throughout the remainder of the season. So this is big because it's been a long time since Texas has finished the season number 1 in the nation. So that'll be big for this program, especially moving forward, going into the SEC. So that is this Saturday. As always said, got to ask you, man, about your Philadelphia Eagles. And I want to talk about a couple other teams in the NFL too, but I always got to start with your Philadelphia Eagles. They got to win. So you coming in on a good week. It's not like on Tuesday I had Rocky and Kyrell in here after what happened to the Cowboys. So that's you coming in a little bit different situation than what they had to come into. But we all saw Nick Sirianni, after a win, turning around and arguing with his own fans. Yeah. It'd be different if they were in Cleveland and he turns around and starts yelling at the dog pound. No, they're in Philly. And he turns around and starts yelling at his supporters.
This is what I need people to understand. Okay? Philadelphia Eagle fans, okay? We're not delusional like Cowboy fans to where we think we're going to win it all every year.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that. But here's what we do. We watch the games, and our whole thing is, hey, even though you won, what was this other trash that was going on? We pay attention.
Yeah.
We pay attention. And so the reason why Nick Sirianni was accosted by Eagles fans, even though it was a win, the win is not good enough. It's not about the win. It's about how did you win? Because you could have very well lost this game. Listen, this Cleveland team is a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
This Cleveland team is a dumpster fire, and you barely pulled off a win against this team. I got some questions. I got some questions. And this is just kind of the way that the Eagle fan base approaches the way that they root for the team, because we are loyal. Don't get me wrong. We're loyal, but we don't have a problem calling BS when we see BS.
Yeah. And Philly has never had a problem doing that in any sport. We've seen it with their basketball team, with Joel Embiid getting mad at him, getting booed off the court multiple times. We've seen it with the Phillies.
Don't even bring up the Phillies, man. And I'm not even a baseball guy. But the Phillies, that was just horrible.
Yeah, we know. Hey, Philadelphia not holding no punches, so they see what they see out there on the field, and they've got some questions for Nick Sirianni.
This is the city of Rocky, bro.
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa. You understand what I'm saying? We got a statue of Rocky Balboa, bro. This is the fan base. This is where we, Rocky, the ultimate underdog.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought Sylvester Stallone was ever going to be able to make any kind of money with a Rocky franchise.
Yeah.
What do you mean? 6 Rockies?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is just kind of the mindset of this whole fan base. We're not expecting to be coming from the front.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no problem coming from the back.
Yeah.
But just understand, don't think that you can just peel my leg and tell me that it's raining.
No, seriously. So they got New York coming up this weekend, and obviously New York has got their own issues, of course. But this is still a division game. We know how the NFC East is. There's no easy dubs in the NFC East, man. I don't care what you think.
And I think when you're talking about Philly and the Giants, this is probably and people may disagree with me on this. People might say, well, the biggest rivalry in the NFC is Cowboys, Washington.
Definitely used to be for sure.
But I think the biggest rivalry in the NFC East is Philly, New York.
And if it is, it just added some more gasoline on there with Saquon coming to Philly, and this is supposed to be his revenge game, supposedly. I don't think he looks at it like that as a revenge thing. I definitely think he wants to go out there and have a good game, but I don't think he sees it as a revenge thing because, the Giants were what they were when he was there, and he got a chance. He got an opportunity to leave and sign somewhere else.
If you think that this game doesn't mean a lot to Saquon, rethink that.
Yeah,
because I promise you, the Giants had a chance to pay him, and they didn't pay him.
No, they didn't.
And so they was like, "Hey, you can walk." And then not only does he walk, but he walks to a division rival.
Man.
Saquon Barkley. Okay, listen, I'm a part of 4 fantasy football leagues. I promise you, I'm starting Saquon Barkley.
Oh man,
in every one of those leagues because I fully believe. Saquon is he's on a mission. He's on a mission this weekend.
And they're going to give him the ball, too. That's the thing I do respect about Sirianni. He knows what this means to him. They're going to give him the ball.
Yeah.
They're going to give him every opportunity to be able to make New York pay, and I'm with you. I fully believe that he's going to do that. Whatever league you got him in, or if you're doing player props, take the over on Saquon this week, man. You better get in now because by the time it gets to Sunday, it's going to be something ridiculous. So you better get in now.
The number's only going to go up.
Oh, yeah. You better get in. You better get in now.
Yeah, do it now.
With them. So, man, there's a good slate of NFL games this coming up weekend, man. Honestly, one of the better NFL Sundays that we've had in a while. We got a Super Bowl rematch with Kansas City and the 49ers. We got the NFC North, who looks like the best division in football right now, with their 2 top teams in Minnesota and Detroit playing against each other. You got Houston and Green Bay playing against each other. We just talked about the Philly and Giants game as well. Looking at some of these games for this upcoming weekend, man, what do you think about I'll go to this Kansas City one first, man, with Kansas City and the 49ers. Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah.
Both teams coming off of a bye. 49ers have dealt with a plethora of injuries as usual. Somebody got to look at their strength and conditioning guy, man. I don't know how this happens every single year for the 49ers or what's going on with that. But looking at this game, man, both teams got a lot to prove. Obviously, Kansas City wants to stay undefeated. This is a team you just beat in the Super Bowl. 49ers just lost to this team, but they're trying to get back in the win column and take over this division before it gets too late in the season.
Yeah, this is and this is the thing that's kind of puzzled me throughout this season about Kansas City, because they just kind of seem to find a way to win every week.
Yeah.
Whether it's the last play of the game or whatever, Kansas City just kind of finds a way to win. So when you're battle tested like that, I'm not gonna bet against you.
Yeah, for sure.
And then with San Fran still not 100% healthy, I just think that until I see it, I'm not gonna believe that anybody's gonna beat Kansas City.
Yeah,
until I see it.
Man, I'm the same way. You could bet against this team and they're the underdog in this game. San Francisco's favored by 2 points. you can bet against Kansas City every week. They're undermatched every week if you're just looking at the stats and looking at the numbers and looking at the amount of talent out there. But like you said, man, they find a way to win, and they know how to win. They're back-to-back Super Bowl champs for a reason.
Yeah, what they got 3 guys on the offense, 3 skilled players on IR.
Yeah, literally.
Still winning.
Still finding a way to win.
Yeah.
They get Juju Smith-Schuster and Kareem Hunt off the streets almost.
Juju.
And they come in and both go over 100 yards.
I didn't even know Juju was even over there.
He wasn't. They started getting hurt. They called him. He was at the house probably playing a game or something. Him and Kareem Hunt. They called both of them up. They come in the game off the couch and go for 100 yards both.
Yeah.
So this team is a machine, and that's going to be a great game to watch. Another good one, like I said, the Detroit versus Minnesota game. This is a super interesting one to me. Detroit, Minnesota, the only other undefeated team left in the NFL. Detroit coming off of we don't even got to talk about it. Coming off of what they just did to Dallas, we all know what happened there.
Yeah, and I would love to go on and on.
Yeah,
about what Detroit did to Dallas, 47-9.
I already know. You probably got the box score memorized in your head a little bit about what happened.
I would love to go on and on about that. I'm not going to do that. But here's what I will say. People are talking about Minnesota, with the run that they're on, being undefeated, and everybody's talking about the play of Sam Darnold. To me, the key to the Vikings' success is their defense.
Brian Flores, man.
Brian Flores has done a great job with this defense.
I'm telling you.
These guys force turnovers. These guys fly to the football. These guys force 3 and outs when you need a 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them play twice. These guys just play great defense, and I don't think people are giving their defense enough credit.
That's the MVP. Is that defense? Yeah. And if there was a coordinator coach of the year award, it would have to go to Brian Flores by far. He's doing an amazing job. The way that they disguise their coverages pre-snap has given every problem. I mean, they blew my team out. The only loss the Texans got, is against this Vikings team, and they blew us out 34-7.
Yeah.
So they're playing Detroit this week. Detroit coming in at 4-1, coming off the NFC Championship last year.
Now, Detroit is not as good as they looked last week. That was Dallas laying an egg.
We can't go based off of that.
Nah.
We can't go based off of that.
That was just Dallas laying an egg. And Dallas will do that a couple of times, 2 or 3 times throughout the season.
They're good for
it. They'll just do that. And you just really can't pick out when they're going to do it. But, they'll do that 2 or 3 times a year. But that was just Dallas laying an egg. But I will tell you this. This is not a team that's as explosive as we've seen them, because they put up quite a few points a couple of times.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised, and I'm calling this now. Minnesota is going to win this game, and it's going to be 23-20 type stuff.
Yeah.
Detroit, they're just not that. Their weapons are just not that dynamic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got a lot of good players, but like you said, it's not outside of Jameson Williams, the super fast guys. Nobody's just like, man, if we don't stop him, he's gonna score 3-4 touchdowns on us tonight.
Yeah, even Amon.
Yeah, Amon Ra. Yeah.
Not even that guy. No. Jared Goff. Jared Goff he's just not that guy. No. He's just not that guy. They just don't have enough horses to run. And Minnesota doesn't either, outside of Justin Jefferson, and Sam Darnold playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a low scoring game, and I think Minnesota wins this game something like 23-20, 2017 type stuff.
Yeah. So take the under. Y'all heard it here from Said. He ain't say it. I'm gonna tell y'all now. It's 50. The point total is 50.5. Take that under. He said it's gonna be a low scoring one.
50.5.
50.5. They think it's gonna be a shootout. They think it's gonna be a shootout. So
listen. I'm telling everybody who's online right now, take the under, and if the under doesn't hit, give me a call.
Yeah.
And I'll pay that for you.
He tried to tell y'all about Kirk Cousins last Thursday, so I'm going to ask him about the Thursday night game tonight coming on in a couple hours here. Denver and New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Denver is a team that's been surprising because they only have 3 wins. They're 3-3, but Nobody thought that this was going to be a 500 team coming into the season like that, especially when they announced Bo Nix as the starter.
Yeah.
So they've got a chance to compete in this division. Obviously, Kansas City is the cream of the crop, but they're right there with the Los Angeles Chargers for competing for that number 2 spot in the division. They're taking on a New Orleans team who is as bruised and battered as you could possibly be. They're down to only 3 receivers on their entire roster, and none of those guys are Chris Olave. They're extremely injured coming into this game. Rashid Shaheed who's been playing good. He's out. The quarterback is out. They got Spencer Rattler starting. It's going to be a rookie duel between Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler. What you think about this game tonight?
Okay, so if you look at it, you're saying, well, New Orleans has a lot of starters who are not going to be available tonight. But listen, I'm going to say this. Spencer Rattler is capable.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer Rattler is capable.
He showed that last week, too.
Yeah, he's capable. And I think Spencer Rattler can play up to the same level that Bo Nix can play up to. It's not like Bo Nix.
Not at all.
Yeah. So here's the difference. New Orleans still has a running back named Alvin Kamara.
Yes, they do.
And this guy does everything. So and then with Dennis Allen being a defensive-minded head coach, and Sean Payton being an offensive-minded head coach, right? He gets credit for being an offensive genius.
Yeah.
But your quarterback is Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Your running back is Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
You just don't have enough weapons, dog.
Not at all.
I haven't. Once again, I'm not a betting man, so I don't know what the line is.
-3 Denver.
Give me New Orleans and the points.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. I actually think, and this is in the Superdome in New Orleans too, so I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at all if New Orleans is able to pull out a win here tonight. And that game is at 7:15 tonight, folks. So if you are going to play anything, you better get it in about an hour here. You only got a couple minutes left to be able to put your picks in.
Yeah, and once again, I'm only going to pay the bets off for that one game. I'm not paying all of it.
Hey, don't you call Said and talk about all these games that we pick. If Georgia go on here and whoop Texas and Denver come out here and whoop New Orleans tonight, hey, don't y'all be calling up here trying to find Said.
I'm only paying for one game, dog.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Said, appreciate you coming through with us, man, as always. Make sure you guys check out the pregame show tomorrow. That is at 6:30. Said is going to be on there doing the La Vega versus China Spring game. That is tomorrow. We cannot wait to see that, folks. We're going to come back for hour number 2, and I'm going to break down some more of these games. Stay tuned. Stay locked in right here on Centex Primetime.
Before you go to break, I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
I did get confirmation yesterday from Coach Don Hyde at La Vega.
Yeah.
Jabari Thornton is getting a lot of attention right now. He has at least 7 offers. Oregon is among them.
Yeah.
Sam. Just wanted to put that out there because the one thing that we do in bringing these broadcasts to people is we want to give these kids exposure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Jabari Thornton is starting to get a lot of attention from D1 programs, and
required for free installation.
As an opportunity to put your family in a better situation.
No, for sure. And I'm glad to hear that, man, and that kid definitely deserves it. Plenty of kids on this La Vega team that deserve some more offers as well. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. That game is at 6. Pregame is at 6:30, game is 7. We're going to take a short break and come back for the top of the hour, everybody. Stay locked in right here on Centex Primetime. We'll be right back after this.
Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. KWBT-FM, HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Cavazos. The new leader in sports in Central Texas is Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
It's time to get in the game.
Do you know what time it is?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis.
To me, you are nothing.
Your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage.
Start it up, let's go.
Catch us Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Welcome back to Centex Primetime, everybody. I am your host, Jalen Gillis. Hour number 2 here on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody that's been watching with us so far today and all week long. It's been an exciting week, a fun week. Definitely go back over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and go and check out some of the episodes from this week, man. It's been a fun week. We've had a lot to talk about this week, and we've definitely got a chance to do that with a few different guys on the show. And we talked just about everything. We talked about the Jets and the mess that they got going on, the Cowboys, what happened to them. Just had Ced Igerhart on here in hour number 1 talking about La Vega football and what we can expect to see tomorrow on Friday as they take on China Spring. As always, tune in at 6:30 for the pregame show for that right here on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas, on YouTube, Centex Sports Network, and on the dial if you're in your car. 94.5 FM. Always tune in on there as well. You'll be able to hear your La Vega Pirates. That is tomorrow. Pregame is 6:30. Game is at 7. Well, folks, and first hour, we got to talk some college football, talk some high school football, talked a little bit of NFL with Ced Igerhart on here. Hour number 2, got a familiar face here on the show. Quay joining here to tune in, a former La Vega Pirate himself. We're going to chop it up about some football, a couple other things as well. Quay, what's going on?
What's up, man? What we doing, man?
Ain't nothing much. Just getting ready. Talk about some of these games, bro. Before we start on the NFL and NCAA, all the storylines they got going on, NBA season is right around the corner. And I want to start there for a little bit. NBA season is right around the corner. I want to start with, before I want to talk about some of the storylines and what we're both excited to see from this NBA season, as both of us obviously avid NBA fans as well. Haven't got a chance to talk about a lot of NBA, but that is going to change going forward and starting next week, man. And got the news earlier that Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely to start the season. There's no timetable on how long he's going to be out. Inflammation in his knee. We saw him hurt against the Dallas Mavericks, a series that they honestly had a chance to win with him out there on the floor. He was hurt in that series, played one game, didn't look good, ended up being out the rest of the series. He made Team USA, tried to go out there, practiced for a couple of weeks, said he was hurt and had to go home. Now here we are at the start of the season. I don't know if it's the same knee. I'm pretty sure. I guess it's the same knee that you've been rehabbing for close to 6 months, and now you got inflammation in the knee that you've been trying to repair for almost a year at this point, and it's got you out, sitting out for the start of the season. At this point, it's getting ridiculous, man. I said it last year, but after seeing this, just retire, bro. Kawhi, you had a great career. Not taking nothing away from you. You had a great career, but it's time for you to retire, man. This is this is at some point you got to just worry about your health going forward. If your knees is bad, you got 80-year-old knees, just go on and retire, bro. You're good at basketball, but you're never playing basketball, and you're honestly just hurting your team even more. Now, I will say this, with Kawhi being out, and depending on how much time he misses, he might miss the whole season. He might just miss a month. We don't know. There's no timetable. Whatever you thought about James Harden the last couple years, you need to rethink it. I think James Harden finna go back to averaging 25 and 10. So I might want to get ready for that. He's going to have the ball in his hands the whole game. If you give James Harden the ball again, I seen Shaq and some other guys coming out with their top 50 NBA players this season going forward. And I think Shaq had James Harden like number 49. That's crazy. No way you telling me 49 dudes is better than James Harden at basketball in the NBA right now. And we're about to see it. But this Kawhi Leonard news, man, of him just missing, this is crazy. Quay, what do you think about this Kawhi being out indefinitely to start the season again?
How old is Kawhi? 36? 37?
No, he's really only like 33. I think he's younger than PG.
30, okay, well, but listen, we're watching the NBA go in with the new, out with the old. Just like NFL, kind of like plug and play now. Like when before it used to be go let them learn in the system. See, the NBA is, we're watching LeBron really show how great and how much he puts into being great. So Kawhi, even Joel Embiid, who's slightly younger, is saying he ain't playing back-to-back games every night. Like, okay, if you guys, like you said, bro, if you're not playing basketball, that's what you get paid to do. What are you doing? And in Kawhi's case, you're never healthy. Even when you get healthy, you're never healthy. Like, at some point, it got to become like a stopping point. Then you finesse and get a whole new extension. You got 3 more years on your contract.
Crazy.
So, like, it's like, bro, like, it's a cut ties and let Los Angeles go in a different. Yeah, I already lost PG. Like you said, James Harden probably finna go crazy. And it's finna be a rebirth for him. Just being able to have his own team, it fell into his situation right there.
Yeah.
He's gonna go right back to Houston, James Harden. I got my own team. I get to cook up. And like I said, Kawhi, like, I don't know, what do you want to do? Like, it seems like he ain't even interested on getting healthy all the way. And when he does, his body telling him, no, bro. Like, at some point, you just got to understand your body say no.
And I
don't think Kawhi would be a great commentator or anything. I think that's what he knows. Like, it's gonna be he once he knows that it's over. Like, I was watching the Derrick Rose stuff. He was like, bro, after you realize that after the basketball is over, what do you do after that? You have children, you got stuff like that going on where they don't think about careers after playing basketball, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hopefully Kawhi can figure out something else, bro. You with one of the most boring shoe companies. You have a bland personality outside of basketball. You need to go coach or something. You stick. Go join a staff or go help player development. I don't think he even got that in him. So I don't know what Kawhi's gonna do with basketball. Clearly his body saying no. And bro, the reality of it is that happens to human bodies, and they don't want to speak about it. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. It might just be time to move on. Derrick Rose is a perfect example to bring up, man. 2 people that was at the top of the mountain. Derrick Rose's height was honestly better to me than Kawhi's height, even though Kawhi's got a couple championships. But we know that was more of a scenario than just him being a crazy good player, even though he was a crazy good player. But, man, it might just be time to hang it up. I don't know what he's going to do after basketball, but I'm sure he'll find something. Like you said, maybe his coaching. I don't know if he can go into coaching like that. He might not have enough to say. I'm sure he can teach the game. He's one of the best basketball minds in the world. If you're a top player in the NBA, you're one of the best basketball minds to have ever lived. There's such a short percentage of people that's even been in the NBA, and then to be at his level, it's even a shorter percentage of people to be able to do that. So maybe he can find himself coaching or something. But, hey, bro, if you just want to take care of your kids and go back to Costa Rica like you was just at during the summer when you were supposed to be rehabbing, and we seen you in Costa Rica, hey, man, maybe just go do that, bro. But basketball, I think it's about time to go ahead and wrap this up. How you keep finessing deals out of them, I don't know. But I ain't mad at you, man. Get your money. If they're going to keep giving you the contracts, might as well sign them. But and the Clippers part of it, no idea why you give them that contract. But, hey, that's on y'all. I ain't no Clippers fan. That's on y'all. I do hope James Harden.
The Kawhi experiment was a failure. The PG and James Harden was a failure. The Clippers, worst trades coming out. You let SGA become a superstar for his own franchise. Like, come on. Like, it makes no sense. I don't know what they're trying to do. Even paying Kawhi again. He's never been a full, healthy year for you. Like, Come on, man. Like y'all, I don't know what these GMs are trying. At this point, you just want to sell jerseys, and he's not even a figure to sell jerseys. I don't know what they're trying to do. You let PG go to a better situation. But just to bring it up, even with Joel Embiid,
Yeah.
that's stuff you finally get PG, and you gonna tell him he's not gonna play back to back, bro. How do you build chemistry like that?
And that's why I think the Sixers are going to be more disappointed than what people think, man, because I think they're going to build it all the way up. And now you got two people that always get hurt in the playoffs with Paul George and Joel Embiid. And I feel bad for Tyrese Maxey because he's a stud out there in Philly for sure. And to the SGA point, man, I know that you're an OKC fan, and the fans of the show here are going to see that more and more as we go throughout the season. And I know you're happy that SGA is in OKC. But can you imagine the type of star power of SGA being in Los Angeles? It's really ridiculous to think that they drafted him, took a chance on him. A lot of people say, should have took Michael Porter Jr. and should have did all this. They knew he was going to be good. Even if they didn't know he was a star, they knew he was going to be good. And him being in L.A., that type of market, that would have been ridiculous to see the star that he's become now, to be able, the type of fashion that he's into, all of this kind of stuff, and then being able to be in L.A. would have been ridiculous. But in this Kawhi Leonard news, man, it's just sad to see. And it might be time for you to just go ahead and hang it up, Kawhi, because basketball is not, even if it is your top priority, your body's not agreeing with you in being your top priority. So it might just be time to move on. Like I said, folks, NBA season is right around the corner. It starts next week. Super excited to be able to see it. I've been tuning into some of these preseason games to watch and just kind of get a feel for how teams is going. Some NBA storylines that I'm excited to see coming up into this next season. The first one is what I just said. I think James Harden's going back to 25-10 James Harden. It's not going to be 30-15, 36-15 James Harden we've seen in Houston. But what we got to see is a glimpse of in Brooklyn and in Philadelphia. I think we're going to see that. He's going to get all his guys open. They still got guys. They still got respectable guys out there. Norman Powell, shout out Kevin Porter Jr. getting back into the NBA. He looked good the other day in preseason. You got bigs out there like Zubac that can roll to the rim. James Harden's going to go back to getting 20 and 10, man. I think it's going to be an easy 20 and 10. How good will the Clippers be and how competitive will they be? I don't know. They still got a good coach in Ty Lue, but without your best player in Kawhi, how much can you expect to even really happen out there? And they went and picked up a couple other pieces to go out there with some of the guys in LA. So they'll be respectable, but don't know how good they'll be. The Lakers and this new coach, man. Now, obviously, it's the Lakers. It's LeBron. LeBron's my favorite player all time, all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. But LeBron is 40-something, or 40 at this point, but we could say 40-something. He's been in the league 2 decades. It's crazy. Anthony Davis. I'm ready to see if J.J. Redick can unlock this offense. We haven't seen his offense perform at its peak since the beginning of this run with AD and LeBron when they won a championship in the bubble. I've seen them moving AD back to the 4. I know he's going to play 5 a lot because that's the best floor spacing. But there's a lot of lineups where AD is playing the 4. And J.J. Redick knows that. J.J. Redick is a smart basketball mind. Whatever y'all think about him as a coach or we shouldn't have got the job because he never coached. He knows more basketball than most of the people you've ever seen. So he's a smart basketball mind. LeBron knows that. The Lakers know that. That's why they put him in there. And if nothing else, I think he's got a chance to unlock this offense. I think he's going to unlock D'Lo. I think Austin Reeves is going to have a better shooting percentage from the three-point line. We might see LeBron back at the top of the league in assists like he's been the last couple of years. Anthony Davis might get a chance to go back to the 4. It's almost like he got drafted as a 4, and they won a championship with him playing the 4. But ever since then, he's been playing the 5, and somehow they're really good when he's playing the 4. I don't get why that's so hard to figure out. Dude is like 6'9", 6'10". Y'all been playing him at the 5. Him moving back to the 4. I'm excited to see what the Lakers can do with this new coach and this new offense. The last one, I'm excited to see what Wembanyama's going to do. Obviously, the most the biggest prospect since LeBron, probably coming into the draft. Last year, he had an amazing rookie season. But you give him Chris Paul, it really don't matter who else is out there. We've seen this over and over in Chris Paul's career. And yes, he's old as well, and he's way past his prime. But just watching it in preseason, man, Wembanyama's about to get a lot of easy buckets. A lot of easy buckets. If y'all do player props, I wouldn't count out Chris Paul leading the league in assists if he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, he's going to lead the league in assists. He's going to get Wembanyama so many open looks, it's going to be ridiculous. Will the Spurs be good? They're going to be better than they were last year. Whatever people think about Chris Paul, and I don't know why Chris Paul gets so much hate. I understand maybe NBA players not liking him as much because, he talks a lot of noise and stuff. But people outside of the NBA, and how they rank Chris Paul. Chris Paul is one of the best point guards to ever touch a basketball. I don't know what some of y'all be thinking, but y'all got Chris Paul messed up. This is one of the dudes. He's won everywhere he's went. The New Orleans Hornets were terrible. He gets there, they go to the Western Conference Finals. Or close to the Western Conference Finals. The Clippers were terrible. He goes to the Clippers. They underachieved, but they're way better than what they were. They were a title contender for multiple years. He goes to the Rockets. We go to the Western Conference Finals, have a chance to win a title. He goes to the Suns. They go to the finals. He goes to OKC in between the Suns and Rockets. And OKC was a terrible team, and he gets them to the playoffs. So this dude does nothing but win everywhere he goes, man. Chris Paul and Wembanyama is going to be must-see TV, in my opinion. Quay, what are some of the storylines that you're excited to be able to see coming into this NBA season starting next week?
Let's get into it. I think Wemby. I do think Wemby might average 30, bro. I don't know.
It's gonna get so many easy
people
shots.
Don't understand about. Think about it, Jalen, and then he's gonna do it in a Travis Hunter fashion. He's gonna play. He's gonna probably get close to leading the league in blocks.
Yep.
Rebounds, and then he's gonna score points at a different value, and then you can't stop him. I haven't seen who hasn't he cooked in the league already though. As a rookie, he literally gave everybody buckets, even on bad nights when they didn't play great. He always found a way to give. So I think Chris Paul, and then you put him one of the great coaches, man. That's gonna be Chris Paul. Will understand the pick and roll is something crazy. Like what are we talking about? Like, but I'm most excited. I like the Bulls. I like my boy Lonzo back.
Shout out Lonzo.
Really like the Giddy trade. I'm not just biased because of OKC, but I think he gets to get on a team where he can play pace and just give. It won't be so much a structure trying to play with a superstar. It's just playing basketball. I really like Giddy for Chicago. I'm happy he's getting another chance to do what he got to do instead of having to be a scorer, or he could just be a facilitator and play the game he wants to. I'm glad Lonzo back playing, and he right back on the defensive prowess again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He right back to doing what he want to do. I think they have a great season. I think they find a way. I like their roster as constructed, young, old, kind of. It's a good feeling. I like Chicago. And I like, of course, OKC. I think our trade is perfect. I think we got exactly what we needed. I think we got better defensively. I think we can throw 7 different lineups out there. I think our young players got better this summer. I think we have a chance to make a run, and I think we're going to be scary. Do we get over the hump? I don't know, because I don't know what the NBA is going to bring this year. I don't know what Jokic would be. I know Jokic would be, but I don't know what the Nuggets are going to be per se.
Yeah.
Losing KCP.
That's going to hurt.
I do like the Magic, bro. I like the Magic, bro.
Yeah.
I'm saying they're going to make a crazy run, but they went and got pieces that make sense for them. And so hopefully, man, we'll see a better. I don't know what the Suns are trying to do, but I really like the Magic. It's just some underdog. It's some underdog storylines that I'm looking forward to. So I'm Wemby and also Lonzo and the Bulls getting back to it. Hopefully they make a run, bro. So.
No, definitely.
One more, Sacramento. I like
that, and that's what I was just about to ask you about. That's crazy. That's what I was going to say. What you think they're going to do with the DeMar pickup, getting him and adding to that lineup?
Well, they're on the cusp of trying to make one more trade. They traded a young player the other day. They're on the cusp of trying to get one more person. I don't know if they're trying to shop the bonus or one, but they're trying to get a star. I was seeing.
What you think they need?
I think. I don't know. I like the bonus. He's an OKC product, so I like the bonus. I think if you trade the bonus, what else do you get back besides the productivity he gives you? He gives you scoring, he gives you rebounding, he gives you passing. It's gonna be tough to replace it, unless you go get a Sengun or something. But what I'm saying? I don't know what they'll try to replace it with. I don't think there's nothing in this market that's gonna put them over the hump. I feel like if they don't win with what they got that's constructed, they bring in a great scorer off the bench in Malik Monk. They have a great point guard. You bring in DeMar DeRozan. You have a great center. You got to put it all together. So another person I'm gonna bring up basketball. I think Harrison Barnes gonna have to lead the Spurs though. Wemby for some reason don't like him. Bro, their chemistry is terrible together. It's like, I promise, bro, if you just go watch the games, I was like, why does Wimby not like Harrison Barnes?
Hey, he don't like a
I
lot of
don't
people.
know.
I seen him talking crazy in the Sports Illustrated thing a couple days ago, saying he thought a lot of dudes in the NBA was nice till he got here, and they ain't that nice.
Bro, Harrison Barnes is on his team, and it's like you look at him like, why do you ever touch the ball? I'm like, man, that's gonna be a problem, bro. Hey,
Man, he gonna hit them corner threes. He gonna learn to like him. He gonna hit them corner threes if he don't do nothing else.
how do you feel about not to you just to switch subject?
No, go ahead.
Thompson struggling still. Klay Thompson struggling. Like, I don't know. Can he shoot? Is it mental? Did the Warriors break his mind? But I think it's Klay. I just think he's not good anymore. And once I think his defense turned into his offense, and he's not a great defender anymore. So, bro, I watched him pass. When I watched him pass up a wide open shot to Klay, never seen it in his career.
Never.
They passed up to pass him the ball for a three to the corner. For another person to shoot and make the three is crazy. I'm passing it to Klay 20 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I don't. You know that's an interesting one, and we got a lot of Mavs fans that watch the show. So I just got to say, he is an upgrade. The Mavs are not getting back to the finals. Let me start that before we start the season, and everybody can know where I stand on this. The Mavs are not going back to the finals. Yes, Klay Thompson is an upgrade. The problem is y'all are going to put him in a situation to be y'all's best defender out there, and he's getting cooked night in and night out. That's the problem. Yes, he's still going to be able to shoot the ball. It's Klay. Yeah, that ain't going away. He's going to be able to shoot the ball. The problem is y'all are going to make him go out there and guard the best guard because you know Kyrie's not guarding anybody. And Luka, like, that's laughable to think that he's going to go and guard.
I was just going to say they might have the worst defending backcourt.
Oh, for sure. For sure. With Kyrie and Luka, Derrick Jones, as many shots as he missed, he helped him a lot on the defensive side of the ball last year. And putting Klay in that role, man, it's going to be tough. Yeah, the offense is going to be better. But also, Klay has never just stood in the corner before. The Warriors have the most movement out of anybody we've seen outside of the Spurs in the last 10, 15 years, maybe ever. And the stuff that you've seen Steph and Klay be able to do. Mavericks don't play like that. It's pick and roll, stand over there. If Luka can't shoot, you're going to get a shot. It's ISO Kyrie on the block. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And if you're not hot, then I guess you're just not. We just seen it with Tim Hardaway Jr. We know Tim Hardaway can play, but he got stuck in that role of just stand over here. And once he wasn't hot anymore, hey, well, you're just not gonna play. And so that Klay Thompson trade is an interesting one that I'm gonna be keeping my eye on as the season progresses. And but like I said, I'm gonna start that now. Mavs not going back to the finals. So sorry to all the Mavs fans out there. Y'all can wrap that up. He's not going back to the finals in my opinion. But NBA season around the corner, like I said, can't wait to be able to see some of these games coming up. Before we switch over and go to some NFL, we got to talk about the New Orleans and Denver game tonight. Talk about some of these big games coming up this weekend, including your 49ers taking on the Chiefs in the Super Bowl rematch. Before we go to that, got to talk about what we've seen. Travis Hunter in the news again. He was on, can't remember whose podcast. Well, I think it was Robert Griffin. On Robert Griffin's podcast and said that he is the clear Heisman favorite. He should be the Heisman favorite over Ashton Genty because Ashton Genty gets a lot of carries and a lot of touches. Travis Hunter doesn't get that, and he plays both sides of the ball. He said, if I had 95 catches, how many yards would I have? Genty's got 95 carries, and he's got 1,000 yards. How many yards would I have if I had 95 catches? So at one point, I do get what he's saying. He doesn't get the touches, and I've been saying all year, I think that's why Travis is probably not going to win the Heisman, especially now that he's battling injury, is because he's not going to get the touches that these other guys are getting. But playing both sides of the ball is harder than anything anybody else is doing. Now, he said it's not like we ain't seen a good running back before. So, he's kind of trying to throw his shots a little bit. But I do get what he's saying, and he's playing both sides of the ball, and he's dominating both sides of the ball. He's got good stats on both sides of the ball. He has the potential to be a number one receiver and a number one corner. That's why he's the best player in the country, and that's why I think he's probably going to be the number one pick in the draft, especially if Jacksonville gets that number one pick and they keep being sorry like they've been. Quay, what do you think about this, man? What Travis Hunter had to say about why he should win the Heisman, and then what he had to say about Ashton Genty and his carries and stuff?
To be honest, he wasn't the person to say it. Someone should have said it for him. That was more
Facts.
of a Shador should have said it or Coach Prime. Honestly, he knows Genty is talented. What he's saying is facts.
Yeah.
But because you're never going to get the ball thrown your way on defense that many times. Why would you? You're the best corner in college. They know they're not gonna throw the ball your way. And when they have, they've seen you do something to it. They don't want to get too tough. That makes no sense. And you're not going to get as many receptions because you're playing with three other good receivers. They come to them when they need to. He may get 10 catches, but it may be 10-yard stops or 5-yard in that they may need. So he's never going to catch up with the stats. And if you had 95 catches, he would have 2,000 yards.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying? But he is not lying, but he wasn't the person that should have said it. It comes off as hating. Genty hasn't came out and said anything about Travis Hunter, and Travis is not lying about. We have seen other great college running backs. We've never seen a player do what he does. So he may break the mold of this, but you can't be the one to say it. Then Genty is also playing on a team that played Oregon down to the wire. He went crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't discredit what he's doing to try to make your case. You have to keep doing what you're doing and make your case. You have to finish the season. You missed 4 games last year with an injury. You have to finish doing what you're doing. You got to finish the task. Him speaking on it, he's not lying, but he wasn't the one that should spoke on it.
No, that's facts. Everything he said is 100% facts. He shouldn't be the one saying it. Let one of your teammates or something say it. And I understand you on the podcast, you got to ask the question, but that's what you got. That's what you got teammates for, and that's what you got Coach Prime for. He's always going to build you up anytime he gets a chance to anyway. So you got to let your teammates talk about that. And he's got, if he plays this weekend, he's got a tough matchup with the McMillan kid out of Arizona coming up. And I know that Travis likes to travel, and he'll be guarding him if he plays this weekend. Like you said, he's got to stay healthy. You just got to worry about what you can worry about, man. You can't be worrying about what everybody else is going to do. The Genty kid is probably going to win the Heisman, in my opinion, just because he's going to keep putting up crazy numbers playing Utah State and these other people. And you're battling injuries, and you're already not going to get the touches that the Genty kid is going to get. So you're in a tougher position. He is the best player in college football. He should win the Heisman. At this point right now, I think it's probably going to Genty because Genty's going to have a chance to go at Barry Sanders' record and some of these other guys' records as well. So, folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, got to talk about the Broncos versus Saints tonight. Got to preview some of these huge games in the NFL slate this Sunday, like the 49ers and Chiefs, like Detroit versus Minnesota. Plenty of good games coming on Sunday. Can't wait to be able to see that. Stay locked in right here on Centex Primetime. We'll be right back after this break.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo, Workshop and Business Opportunity, to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo to develop their business ideas into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you wanna holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's a sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie. 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
That's right, sports fans.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis, your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. Final stretch here of today and final stretch of the week, as tomorrow we've got La Vega football going to be happening here on the radio. It's been a fun week. Want to thank everybody who's been tuning in with us not only today but all week long, whether that's been on Centex Sports Network on YouTube watching, or whether that's been on the app Centex Sports One listening to Infinity Sports Radio Central Texas, or whether that has been on Facebook as well. Wherever you're listening for, I always appreciate you guys as always. Final stretch of the week, final stretch of today, and we got to talk about the game that's going to take us into the football weekend, and that is tonight with the Denver Broncos taking on the New Orleans Saints. Now, this isn't, the sexiest game in the world for most people, but if you're a football fan, this is one that you're going to want to watch because it's two rookie quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix. I don't think Spencer Rattler is that bad. He had some moments last week, but he's probably playing with the most shorthanded offense in the entire NFL right now. New Orleans looked like world beater those first couple weeks, and they've been hurt ever since then. Yeah, they fell off, but injuries have a big part to do with that, of why they've fallen off like they have so far this season. Alvin Kamara will be playing tonight, but no Chris Olave, no Rashid Shaheed out there, receiver. I think they only have 3 wide receivers on the roster right now. I'm not sure if they called somebody up for this game. I'm sure they probably did just because you have to, because you have to have more than 3 receivers. But going into this game, only 3 receivers on the roster, and none of those guys have started games. They got the young rookie out there, so we'll see him be able to get some action. Bub Means and Spencer Rattler seemed to find him as a favorite target in that last game last week. But they're extremely shorthanded. They had a lot of success earlier in the year. Clint Kubiak looked great, and then 3 or 4 of their offensive linemen got hurt, and they've been out ever since. Alvin Kamara missed some time out there. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed are both hurt out there. So the odds are stacked against New Orleans in this one, but I think they still have a chance to compete in this game. I'm not sold on Bo Nix. Yes, they're 3-3, and they're obviously doing way better than what I thought they would be doing at this point. I thought they'd be more like 2-4, kind of like the Saints, maybe even 1-5, because Bo Nix is Bo Nix. But this team has found a way to come out here and get wins. They're 3-3. They've got some impressive wins. They beat the Jets, if nothing else. They beat the Buccaneers as well. That was their best win, was against the Buccaneers, 26-7. They found a way to go out and beat the Raiders. They lost on Sunday against the Chargers. The Chargers are still better than them, though. This is a young team for the Denver Broncos as well. I think Pat Surtain is going to be out, so that gives Spencer Rattler more of a chance to make something happen out there. And this game is kicking off in about 45 minutes. So I want to be able to go home and watch this game, see what's going on, and see what both of these young quarterbacks are going to do playing on national television. This is both of their first times playing on national TV. Not a lot of offensive firepower in this game. So I usually would say take the under, but they got the game scored so low. I think the point total is 37.5. So I would honestly stay away from that because I don't know how this game is going to go. It could be a shootout because both teams are so beat up. And this could also be a game that's 10-6. I wouldn't be shocked about that as well. Still on here, joined by Quay. Quay, what do you think about this game tonight, man? Denver playing New Orleans in about 45 minutes here.
I'm riding you with Bo Nix too. I think he's mid. But, they got a quarterback. They are better than what they were. Two young teams, but like you said, this game, I'm really happy for Spencer Rattler. Think he get a chance to come in and show that he can still play. Like he didn't have a bad, terrible game the other day. But this kind of game is what makes quarterbacks try to show the both teams are kind of nicked at spots that they need to be. Both young quarterbacks. This is the chance for Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix to go out there and have either this great game. The best players are not on the field, so you can go out there and get your composure back, understand the assignment, and make your targets and make your throws and But his offensive line is man.
Yeah, it's tough.
But like I said, hopefully Spencer Rattler can come. I do like him over Bo Nix personally.
Same.
Maybe I'm just a little biased. I never was sold on Bo Nix. I don't care because you 6'12" and throw the ball 79 yards. That'll make you a good quarterback. But I'll probably choose the Broncos in this game just because of how injured the Saints are, and they're a little bit more. If Surtain was playing out, it was a wrap.
Yeah, definitely.
If the Rattler was gonna be dog food, you can't throw that man away.
No, yeah, I'm agreeing, but they're favored for a reason in this game. Broncos have a better team at this point than the New Orleans Saints because half the players for the Saints aren't playing, and then you're putting a rookie quarterback out in that situation too on a primetime game in a short week too. So I mean, it's tough. All the odds are stacked against Spencer Rattler, but I'm hoping he can go out there and make something happen. And Surtain being out does give you a little bit more of a boost because that's one half of the field just shut off when Surtain is playing. So you can't even throw that away. So that game is at 7:15 tonight on Prime Video. I know all of y'all are like me and hate that this game is on Amazon Prime, but that's what they do now for Thursday night footballs. Cash rules everything around me. That's how it goes. And they got a bag from Amazon Prime, so y'all gonna keep seeing these games on Amazon Prime, and you might see some more games on Amazon Prime as well. Talking about some quarterback situations like we were just here with Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix. Another quarterback situation going on in Pittsburgh, and this one's a little bit different because Pittsburgh's got a winning record. Pittsburgh's tied for first place in their division. They're 4-2. Justin Fields has led them to this 4-2 start. We're starting to hear rumbles that Russell Wilson is healthy now. And Mike Tomlin said Russell Wilson was a starter before the season started. He ended up being hurt, and Justin Fields has been playing since. He never just named Justin Fields as a starter going forward. And now we're hearing that Mike Tomlin is saying that he's considering Russell Wilson to start in the Sunday night game coming up this Sunday night. Pittsburgh playing on Sunday night once again, this time taking on the Jets. And he's considering starting Russell Wilson in this game. Russell Wilson hasn't played all season. Justin Fields has led them to a 4-2 record. Has he been amazing? No, he hasn't been amazing, but he's had good moments. And the team's 4-2. Now, a lot of that has to do with Mike Tomlin, obviously, and the coaching. But when the guy's rocking out, man, he's got y'all on to a winning record. I think you got to let him rock out. It's not like I don't think Russell Wilson's going to come in and play great. He could. But it's not like you have Aaron Rodgers or somebody sitting on the bench over there. You got Russell Wilson. So Mike Tomlin considering him giving him a shot to start. Quay, what you think about that for the Steelers and what the quarterback situation they got going on right now?
I don't know what Mike Tomlin does. It's the first. I have never questioned anything Mike Tomlin does. But bro, you're winning. Y'all find a way to still be good, but bro, you're winning. And your defense is playing great. If he keeps the chain moving, he doesn't play great throwing the ball or whatever. But he's doing exactly what you need him to do. Like you said, bro, they're tied for the best in their division. I don't know what Russell comes in and does. It just like I said, I don't know. I thought Russ would have been on the trading block, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess them. I don't know. I don't know. That ain't fair to Justin Fields. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I get coaching, but you'll kill confidence like that. You're still going to need a quarterback once Russell falls off the face of the earth. So, like, I don't know what they're trying to do, or I don't know, man. That's just such for Justin Fields. Need to have that conversation. You do, bro. You just like Tony Romo when Dak came in. You let him keep winning until
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You let him keep. You just got a better quarterback situation if one of them get hurt. But you just let him keep rocking out till he wins. I know Russell is in his ear. That fool like I'm the quarterback. I'm the OG. Nah, bro, you're not good anymore. Not just saying he's terrible, but that kid is winning right now, Mike Tomlin. It ain't like y'all running got the best offense out there. Like it ain't you ain't got a million things to work with out there. He's literally not Najee Harris not playing great.
Nope.
So like, bro, I don't know. And then Russell might come in and make it a stagnant offense. I don't like when Russell retreats. I don't like when Russ the way he try to turn it into his play style. Like the Broncos last year was not all the coach's fault. Russ had his part to play. He wasn't the same Russ. So I don't know what Michael Thomas. I've never questioned anything he does, but I didn't like that move, and I don't like that. To even go for 4 wins is something to say right now. The NFL upside down. Like, come on.
You're right there as a top team in the NFL. You're 4-2. Like you said, the NFL is upside down. It's only 2 teams that's undefeated. You're sitting there 4-2, tied for first place in one of the best divisions in football in the AFC North. Okay, he hasn't thrown for a lot of yards, only thrown for 1,100 yards, but look at his touchdown to pick ratio. He's thrown 5 touchdowns and thrown 1 pick. Also, he's your second leading rusher. When all these times that Najee Harris has played bad, he's got the most touchdowns on the team. He's got 5 throwing, and Justin Fields has ran for another 5 touchdowns and ran for 230 yards. You can't just discount that as well and what he's been able to do. And like you said, it's not like he's just playing with ultimate weapons out here. Yeah, George Pickens is good. I think he's super talented. I think he gives up on plays sometimes. I just seen him talking about that. He had an interview and talking about that's not true. But, man, we seen the film. We seen you out there jogging half the time. Can you be good? He said he thinks he's a top 3 receiver in the league. That's cap, obviously, but that's how you're supposed to feel, George Pickens. He also said guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown are slot merchants, and that's the only reason they get all these yards because they sit in the slot and get 100 targets, which was pretty funny. But it's not like Justin Fields has had a crazy amount of talent to work with out here. So he's got his team winning. They're winning games. I thought that was what was most important. You have a chance to now throw off your team chemistry. What is Justin Fields going to play like? One, you need him to come back in because you know you're going to need him to come back in. Russell's coming off an injury. It's not like he was just sitting out because he didn't feel like it. What if he gets hurt again? Then you got to throw Fields back there, hope his confidence is still up, try to redo your play calling and your scheme. So I'm like you, man. I'm not a fan of this move. I thought before the season Justin Fields should have been a starter. He came out. He's got his team to 4-2 right now. You got to let him keep rocking out, man, until he just goes out there and has a bad game, which he hasn't had. He's had games that weren't good, but he's only thrown 1 pick this year. It ain't that many quarterbacks that can say they've started 6 games in the NFL so far and only thrown 1 pick. Only person that's played as many games with less picks is Josh Allen, who's playing like an MVP candidate right now because he's got 10 touchdowns to no picks. So, man, that's a tough situation. I understand you feel like Russell can give you a little bit more, but I would just rock out with Justin Fields and just keep going like that. So we'll see what they decide to do. They play Sunday night against the Jets, who have a lot of questions, and now have Devontae Adams, so that's going to be a big game, and I'm excited to see that one. The game of the weekend, most likely, in my opinion, in the NFL is, Quay, your 49ers taking on Super Bowl champs, the team they just lost to in the Super Bowl, the team that they lost 2 Super Bowls to. So the 49ers are very familiar with this Kansas City Chiefs team, very familiar with the personnel on this team. Kansas City coming in 5-0. 49ers just trying to get healthy, but I'm sure that bye week helped out a lot as far as trying to get healthy. They got guys that are questionable coming into the week, but I think they're all going to play. Debo, Jordan Mason, Juwan Jennings, I think all those guys are going to play. And they're trying to get back in the win column, and they're trying to get back above 500 at 3-3 right now. Started the season off slow due to injuries. Still no Christian McCaffrey right now, but they're taking on the Kansas City Chiefs team that they just know how to win. They just lost to this team in the Super Bowl, even though I think the 49ers were better than the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They had a better team than the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but you can't give 15 a chance to win the game at the end because that's exactly what he's going to do time in and time out. And so they playing on Sunday, 3:25 in San Francisco when they take on the Chiefs. How do you see this game shaking out, man? 49ers favorite right now. They're a minus 2-point favorite in this game. How do you see this one shaking out with the 49ers and the Chiefs on Sunday?
I'm going to take the 49ers because I think we're still better than them, obviously. They just have a better quarterback. And Brock when they got back to doing what he does. Their defense hasn't been playing as good as they did last year. And Pat Mahomes has been human a little bit. They came down where they could have been They could have been on the losing side of this record. They just found a way to win in the end, and they haven't really just healed any. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have just murdered teams. I think they could have been on the losing side. And like you said, I don't think they repeat this year. But they have our number, just like we have the Cowboys number. And I think we give them too many opportunities to play in the game. We have to HQ and come out and play. And I don't think I think if we come out and run the ball like we're supposed to and get ahead and do what we need to do, that's just supposed to be the game plan. But for some reason, he's that kryptonite one. Pat Mahomes is going to be a close game. You know it. Pat Mahomes always end up with the last drive, and he just either get it with the field goal or go score the touchdown in him. Like, think about that. I watched 2 Super Bowls in the same type of way.
Exact same way.
Type of way. We were literally winning in both winning scenarios. We could have had 2 Super Bowls, but the same way, that man strikes again. So, like I said, I do think we can win this game, especially in regular season. We have to win these games. This is a morale game. I don't think they're just talented. Because if we go after quarterback, after Travis Kelce, which Kittle, they cancel out. I don't think they just have more talent than Chris Jones or we got Bosa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have the better linebackers. I don't. That secondary is good, but I think we just have a better team. We have to come out and win fast, and I think we have to come out and make a statement. But this year ain't no matter if we get to the playoffs for some reason. But this is going to be a good game. I do think we come out at the end, but if we don't, I understand it's still a measure stick. But we're fairly healthy, and Jordan Mason is playing like a number 1 running back, so we're cool. Like, and then even the backup back, we come in and run the scheme good. Like I like what we do. We just got to go execute. I think we win by field goal or last second touchdown. And that's just what it is. And Kittle got back to the basics last week, and I appreciate that. And not Kittle,
Purdy.
Purdy got back to the basics last week, and I liked it. He didn't force anything. He just played. And him and Kittle have a chemistry there. Just like on the other side with Mahomes, they have a chemistry quarterback tight end where he just kind of trusts his guy, and they play good football together. And when Kittle is healthy, it's kind of hard to beat them because they can play between the seams, the 5 yard right behind the linebacker. They play great, and that Shanahan system is made for them. We need more from my youth, man. I'm tired of him, bro. Like it ain't like he's not getting targeted, bro. He's not like getting like he used to effort, bro. Like the little stuff he used to do blocking and get himself engaged and got paid. I don't understand what it is. I don't know why NFL players do that. Get the money and then become whoever, whatever they try to do. Right now, you have to come on, like, bro. You need the monster game. We need 10 catches. We need a 9-catch game, 110 yards to take down. We need something. We need something worth the money to be paid that you got. Your top receiver, money in the league, and you're definitely not playing top 10 anything right now. So,
yeah, Brandon Ayuk he got to come on with the come on. You held out. You missed the entire training camp. You've come into the season not playing well because you held out for it since y'all lost in the Super Bowl. You haven't showed up to the facility since y'all lost in the Super Bowl. You hold out, and then they do make you the highest paid or one of the highest paid receivers in the league, which I don't think you're one of the best receivers in the league. I think you just kind of put them in that situation to pay you like that, and you're underperforming. You're underperforming for whatever they say about Debo. Debo held out at one point. Debo always is going to come in and do what he does. He does the team ask. He's played running back. He's played receiver. He's thrown passes. Debo does whatever this team needs him to do. Brandon Ayuk, you got to do better. You got to play better, and it's got to start on Sunday against Kansas City. Trent McDuffie had you in the clamps last year in the Super Bowl. You should want your get back. You should come out here and try to have a 100-yard game and have your best game that you've had so far this year. Like you said, I don't know why dudes get paid and decide they don't want to play football anymore. We've seen it with CD. He's playing decent, but CD ain't playing like he played when he wanted that check last year. Some of these guys, they got to get it together, man. And I'm taking the 49ers in this one, like you said. They're at home, and I think they're finally starting to hit their stride. Mahomes is Mahomes, but he's been playing human, just like you said. He's thrown 6 picks this year. He's almost at the top of the league in picks. And you can't throw 2 or 3 picks to this San Francisco team because they're not going to give you the ball back.
Picks too, not just picks. He's been throwing like I've never seen Pat Mahomes throw those type of picks. Like just humane pick, regular quarterback picks. I'm like, dang, Pat Mahomes might be just turning into the regular human quarterback. He's just a great quarterback. Like 6 picks is crazy.
He's the best player in the league still, but it's got to stop at some point. And that's why I said at the beginning of the season, I'm sticking with it. I don't think they're going to three-peat this year. That don't mean they're going to be bad. I don't mean Mahomes is going to suck or anybody's going to be bad. I just think they're not going to get the deal done when it comes down to the end. The 49ers team honestly still has the talent to be able to come out the NFC again. They just got to get healthy, and that's been their number one problem. So we'll see. That's going to be one of the better games of the weekend. The other really good game I'm excited to see this weekend is Minnesota versus Detroit. I did my top 5 earlier this week. I had Detroit ranked in front of Minnesota, even though Minnesota's got the better record. And even though Minnesota is undefeated right now, one of the only 2 teams left undefeated in the league, I think Detroit is better. But we're going to see on Sunday. Now we get to see what's going on. They're playing at Minnesota. Minnesota's favored in this game, 1.5. And I think Detroit is better. I got Detroit winning this game. Would I be shocked if Minnesota wins? Not even a little bit. Minnesota has played good quality teams and won. They beat the 49ers. They beat the Texans. They've played quality games and won quality games, sitting at 5-0. Brian Flores showing that he is probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the league because he's getting all of this production out of no all-pro players. They don't have any all-pro players on this defense. Yeah, Harrison Smith, but he's 30-something. He's like 35. So he's not all-pro right now. He's been all-pro before. Stephen Gilmore has been all-pro before, defensive player of the year before. He's not there right now, but he's getting a lot of production out of these guys. He's got the right mix of youth mixed with veteran leadership, plus his scheme. He's got them playing out of their mind. Sam Darnold is starting to come back to normal. The only advantage I would give them is Aiden Hutchinson is out for the rest of the season. That's going to hurt Detroit. I probably would have picked Detroit to come out of the NFC, but without Aiden Hutchinson, they're not going to be able to do that because their defense isn't good enough to be able to do that without Aiden Hutchinson. He was the best player on their defense by far. He's leading the league in sacks still right now. And without him, it's going to be tough. But I think Detroit can come out and win this game, though, still. Brian Flores' defense is going to get tested against his offense. This is they got 2 backs that can go for 100 yards. We know what Amon-Ra can do. Jamison Williams can take the top off, and they got Sam Laporta. This Brian Flores' defense is going to get tested this weekend, and I can't wait to watch this matchup. Quay, what do you think about this game, Detroit versus Minnesota?
I think this might be the best game of the week, to be honest. I think that 49ers and Chiefs game is going to be like kind of scripted, almost kind of. This game is really exciting. 2 teams hot. We know what Detroit was. People thought it was a fluke last year, and they're coming to show they're not one of those. Come on, man! Like I think people underestimate what they can do. I take. Sam Darnold's playing like too.
Yeah.
You know what they bring on the offensive side. This is going to be a shootout, bro. I think this is going to be maybe the game of the week that we underestimated. Like I said, I like the Kansas City and 49ers game. The must-see football, but this is what this season must-see football is. Like I'm gonna take Detroit for some reason. I just feel like they'll find a way. I think Trent Brown goes crazy. I think he just finds a way to go crazy. I like what Jared Goff is doing, bro. Like nobody speaks on it enough, bro. Like he does.
He gets a lot of hate. He get a lot of hate, man.
The man has been to 2 Super Bowls,
1 Super Bowl and 2 NFC championships.
Went to one Super Bowl and almost another one.
Yeah.
The man, like people, man. The man is good. He plays within the system. He doesn't try to do any extra. He doesn't try to add or subtract things from his game. He just plays good in the system. I really like what he's done in his career, and it's something to be said. Like people got to quit comparing him to other bums, bro. Like you can't compare what he's done. Like, come on, man. I like Dak, bro, but come on, bro. His career's not better than, bro.
No,
like, come on,
it's not. It's not. And I've had that argument on this show multiple times. He's not. Y'all can keep saying what y'all want to say, bro. Dak's not better than Jared Goff. I know that's what y'all going to take away from this whole show. It's just that I said Dak ain't better than Jared Goff at the end of it. But I'm going to keep saying that, bro. Jared Goff has had a better career than Dak. Dak was an MVP candidate once. Cool. Outside of that, you have nothing to show for Dak being better than Jared Goff. But I don't want to make this about Dak versus Jared Goff. This game is going to be a good one, man. And like you said, I just got the feeling I think Detroit's got the upper hand in this one, even though they're going to be shorthanded, minus Aiden Hutchinson, and it's at home for Minnesota.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, that. I mean, that hurt. I literally was confident in picking them coming out of the NFC, even though the 49ers had the amount of talent they have. But Aiden Hutchinson was a big reason of that, a huge reason of that. I think he was starting to emerge as a top 3 pass rusher in the NFL this year. Unfortunately, he already had surgery on that tibia. He broke his tibia, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season unless they go to the Super Bowl. They said he could come back if he goes to the Super Bowl, but I don't see them getting that far without Aiden Hutchinson in there. But in this game, man, I like Detroit. I like Detroit in this one. I think Sam Darnold's starting to come back to normal the last couple games we've seen him play. He's starting to come back down to looking like – I don't want to say Sam Darnold and the Jets. And I don't think he's going to be that bad again, ever again, because a lot of that had to do with the Jets. But he's starting to come back to, okay, this is Sam Darnold that we thought he could play within this Kevin O'Connell system, which is a good system. And he still got Jettas out there, still got Aaron Jones. So like you said, Quay, this is probably the game of the week right here with Detroit versus Minnesota coming up. There's other good games, folks, but we're out of time here today. Other good games, Houston versus Green Bay is going to be a really good game as well. You got the revenge game for Saquon Barkley going back to New York, playing with the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Monday night game is going to be good. Baltimore versus Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is a good team as well. I would have put them in my top 5 if they didn't lose that game to Atlanta. But they're right outside of the top 5 in my eyes, and I had Baltimore in there in my top 3, so that's going to be a good game as well. Folks, want to thank everybody for watching with us today and all week long. Want to thank Quay for coming on here with me. Said Igerhart coming on here with me. You'll hear him tomorrow for the pregame show, La Vega versus China Spring. Make sure you get ready for that and tune in for that. Folks, as always, subscribe to the YouTube. Centex Sports Network on YouTube, Centex Sports TV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified every time that we go live. Download the app Centex Sports One on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store as well. Folks, we will see you guys next week. We're going to have plenty to talk about. Make sure you get ready for La Vega football tomorrow. 6:30 pregame. Game starts at 7. La Vega taking on China Spring is going to be a great matchup. We will see you guys next time right here on Centex Primetime. Everybody have a great evening, and the Thursday night game starts in about 15 minutes. We'll see you.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.